Hi guys, so this is part two of electricity. Make sure you have watched part one of the lesson on electricity. Ugh, let me restart that. Okay, ready? Let's start this again. Hi guys, this is part two of our lesson on exciting electricity. Make sure you have seen part one in my YouTube channel. Rewatch it if you need a refresher or to remind yourself and look through your notes. You would need your science notebook. And let's continue on where we left last time in your science notebook under electricity. So just to overview our objective to this, I can explain ways that electricity is generated. Say it one more time with me. I can explain ways that electricity is generated. And then say it out loud once to yourself. I can explain ways that electricity is generated. So, where we left off in our previous lesson, we're talking about where does electricity come from? And this is just a little quick review. Electricity is an energy source that is a way of powering something. So, electricity is actually a secondary energy source, meaning it's made from a primary source of energy. So it's not primary. Electricity is made from something else that's gathered energy. So what are examples of primary sources of energy? And that includes coal, oil, natural gas, wind power, and solar power. So from these primary sources of energy, we could gather electricity from it. Where does electricity come from? Since electricity is a secondary source of energy, it needs to be generated. So generating means it needs to be made from a primary source of energy. And they could come from fossil fuels. Fossil fuels is such as coal, oil, and natural gas. These are all fossil fuels. Burning them produces heat, which generates electricity. We also have nuclear. Nuclear energy is created when atoms are either combined or split and creates heat. And this can be converted into energy. Sorry, it could be converted into electricity. We also have hydro and wind. Water used in dams and the wind is used to turn windmills. And these both generate electricity. And we also have solar. The sun's rays shine on special panels. So think of like those solar panels that you can see on houses or in different buildings, which also convert energy into electricity. And we also have geothermal. Geothermal is energy from the heat from the earth, which can be converted into electricity. So these are different primary sources of energy that generate electricity. So fossil fuels, nuclear, hydro and wind, solar, and geothermal. Make sure all these squares are in your notebook and make sure you label them correctly as that these are a primary source of energy and that we gather electricity from them. So you will see this particular assignment in your Seesaw post. So it says, where does electricity come from? Can you match the images of the primary energy sources with their names? Click each image to see which energy source matches. So you will have to drag each of those little squares to the correct image. So for example, you need to tell me which ones are fossil fuels, which ones are geothermal, which is our hydro and wind, solar, and nuclear. So you may see this is a Seesaw assignment that we posted today. And that was a quick little preview. On to the next slide. So where does electricity come from? So there's several different ways to generate electricity for us to use power to power our appliances. Some of the methods of generating electricity are renewable, so meaning they will constantly regenerate. They will come again. This means that they will never run out and we can use them to generate electricity forever. However, some methods are non-renewable. It means that they will run out, and when they do, we will not be able to use them to generate electricity anymore. So think about, remember, renewable means that they never run out. We can use them to generate electricity forever. And non-renewable means that they will run out. And once they're out, we can no longer generate electricity from them. So here are some renewable resources. The renewable resources from our primary source of energy is solar, nuclear, geothermal, hydro, and wind. All these are renewable. So it means that we will not run out, that we will be able to use electricity from all of these constantly. And non renewable are fossil fuels. So once you run out, that's it, you cannot use it anymore. Make sure this chart is in your notebook. So let's continue. Where does electricity come from? Coal, oil, and natural gases will all run out one day because remember, these are fossil fuels. And when they do, we will not be able to burn these materials to generate electricity. However, these materials are cheaper than renewable sources. For this reason, most of our electricity is currently generated from fossil fuels. Why do you guys think these materials are cheaper? Because they're renewable resources. Why do you think the renewable resources are more expensive, such as solar, hydro, and wind? Why are they more expensive if we know they're never going to run out and the ones that do run out are more expensive? I would like to hear your thoughts on why do you guys think fossil fuels are cheaper than renewable resources? So you will also see this assignment posted later today after our Zoom class because I will go over it. So you will become electricity experts. So imagine you're electricity experts. Twinkle TV have asked you to narrate a film or a video and to teach children about where electricity comes from. So imagine you are doing your own show and you're going to give me like a mini vlog about where electricity comes from. You will provide the words to film the clip. So you have keywords that you will need to mention, and then you will need to act it out, and then you will narrate the images on screen. So I would give you the keywords, and then you will put images about electricity. So different images that we talked about: fossil fuels, hydro, wind, solar panels, geothermal, all these primary sources of energy, and how it's related to electricity. And then I would give you the electricity expert activity sheet that will help you plan and write out your script. And it will look like this. So life without electricity. Electricity is a flow of charge through material, and we use it to power appliances. So imagine what life would be like without electricity. And look around you, look around the room you're in. Discuss different things that how will be different. Like for example, if we were in a classroom, what would your classroom be like without electricity? How would your home look like without electricity? What would you learn? How would you learn? Especially right now during distance learning, how could we learn if we didn't have electricity, right? Our whole, even how you're watching this lesson is being powered by electricity. What will your home look like? And how will people stay in touch? So think about how important electricity is in our life now. So this is our end of our lesson. Make sure you have written down your notes, and if you need to rewind at any point, go ahead and do so. And then we will continue talking about electricity further this week. Bye, guys.